Hi, Rob Stewart with KMK Consulting. I'm here today with Zekun associate at KMK, who is part of our market research team. And today we're going to be talking about an innovative patient simulation app and a case study that demonstrates how this was done. Zekun, thanks for being here today.
Hi, Rob. Thanks for inviting me.
Yes. So, Zequin, this is a study and that was done with a client that also we developed some software to help. Can you just give an overview of what this patient simulation app is all about?
Sure. So basically, this is a software-based approach to learn about the thinking process of the physician. So
Mhm.
this is because our client they want to know some insights from the physicians in prepare for their new product launch. And in order to better understand the treatment algorithm for a rare disease condition, we developed this software-based platform to kind of talk through with the physicians and to understand what's in their thinking process and what thinking makes them to make the decisions when choosing between different treatment options to treat their patients. So our team was able to develop this unique patient simulation app. This is called InTask. So this InTask was used in designing the market research study and conducting all the interviews. So with this platform, we are able to explore the treatment algorithm that our client was looking for.
That's very interesting. So you have software that simulates what a patient will respond, right? That is really cool. What's the feedback from doctors on that? How do they interpret it? Is it realistic, for example?
It's very interesting, for example, because this is like a nuance like they never experienced before. So this allowed physicians to view their decision in a different perspective. So for example, when we interview a physician, we ask their patient profiles first. So we know what kind of patients they are treating with. And then we offer this new product profile to let them evaluate. So they will see, oh, this looks good, this looks fitful for my patient because of this reason. So we know the benefit, also the barriers, the downsides, why they choose or not choose this treatment. So for example, one of our physicians had two different patients. One patient is at his mid-age male businessman, and the other patient is a senior patient. So because of the different patient profiles, the physician chose different treatment options to treat these two. They may give more aggressive treatment to the mid-age businessman patient and give more moderate treatment to the senior person.
Well, I hope that I fit into the middle-aged businessman still.
You definitely.
Definitely. Okay, good, good. Uh, so you also talk a little bit about the thinking out loud. So it feels like there's like qualitative aspects to this simulation because it's real people, right? We're dealing with people that have emotions and situations. It's not just numbers. How does that think out loud factor into this?
That's actually the biggest factor in this study
Oh,
because
interesting.
that's that's very for example the behavior economics. So all the things that people make decisions based on their thinking process, and if we can understand how they think, like why this trigger way or another way, that will be very efficient for our client to know where their product to go, like when what are kind of advertisement or other launch strategies they may utilize to do the marketing mix when they prepare for the launch for this product.
Hmm. Hmm. And so, so you do the simulation, you get a better sense of what that patient journey looks like. Um, then what? Then how is that information used to help the launch? Because this is generally for, as I understood when looking through the study, is for launch prep.
Yes, so this actually gave a possibility to open a new scheme for segmentation. So
Okay.
for this study, we have a few key learnings we had. from this simulation. So first, we know this rural disease and we know the treatment is seldom linear. And then we know how doctors make their decision when they prescribe how to utilize several treatment options at their disposal with varying points of the patient journey. So we know the patient journey and know why doctors choose different prescription treatment options for their patients. And with these insights, we are able to tell our client, okay, we have a different types of physicians. So when you reach out to each type of those, you may give different message for the products because they focus on different things. They are looking for different things. And if you can keep their interest right at the point, that will be very great for a successful commercial entry.
Well, okay, great. So it really is targeting that interest level at the point of discovery almost, right?
Yes, that's basically once we have the simulation, we do the segmentation and
Yeah,
then we can target for different segments.
great, great. All right. Well, that's very helpful. Thank you for this overview of the patient simulation app case study. For viewers that are interested in learning more, we have a link to the simulation case study write-up. We'd also welcome a discussion. Please get in touch with us at the following information. Zekun, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks,
And
everyone. Yep.
yep, and thank you very much for this discussion.
Yep.
Okay, we are recording. Hi, Rob Stewart with KMK Consulting. I'm here today with Zekun Ma, associate in the market research team. Thanks for being here, Zekun.
Thanks, Rob.
Today, I'm going to be speaking with Zekun about the kind of role that she plays within our market research team. She does a lot of, she and her team does a lot of quantitative analysis for the market research studies that are performed. And so Zekun, I'd like to open it up and ask you to describe what is the general basis for doing the quantitative research within a market research study. I know it's the numbers are important because it leads to helping make decisions, but it seems there's a lot to consider when you're actually pulling together a quantitative study. Can you just give an overview of what that's like?
Sure. So I want to first describe what is market position in the whole supply chain. So it's more like in the midstream of the whole supply chain. So the upper stream will be the innovation team who develop a new product. And then market research step in to develop questionnaire, develop survey, call interview, or quant research study to test this new product in different perspectives. For example, we can do conjoint analysis to evaluate the attributes of a new product. For example, we have an iPhone and then we want to know the storage space, the price, the size, and other attributes of this product. And then we can develop a questionnaire based on these different attributes with different attributes levels, do conjoint analysis, and then we know what's the best combination of a product that consumer would most interested in. So this is more like what we do for our market research team. We basically understand the needs from the client and then develop the questionnaire discussion guide, either use qual or quant approaches. And then once we have those data collected from the fieldwork, we started the analysis process. So we will do the basic analysis using, for example, Excel, SPSS to do data cleaning and using some segmentation, targeting, archetyping approaches to analyze the data and get more insights beyond the basic data. So after all this data analysis, we will be able to develop the deliverables like the reports back to our clients to let them know what they want to know and even beyond like what our recommendation will be for them to go further for the launching process, even in the cell retailer process on the downstream.
Okay, so my head's about to explode with all the uh, advanced statistical capabilities that you need to do based on what you're talking. And 'cause it gets pretty deep into the statistics, I would imagine.
Yes.
Yeah. So with that, how do you, I think about the information that you have coming in, right? And there's, for all these attributes, there's relative importance to each of those attributes. How do you discern? How do you sort through all that? I mean, it feels like you're looking for the needle in a haystack.
Oh yeah, so in order to do this good, we need to prepare good. So this is the first step to have a really well-developed questionnaire. So if you ask the question right, you will get answer right. So for example, for the attributes importance you were just talking about, if we can develop a very good question to asking about the different attributes of the product, and then asking people to give, for example, the point allocation for the list of attributes. So all the attributes add up to 100 points, and they will give different points to each of those attributes based on their own experience or their thinking for which one is most important or less important. And then we can collect this data and do the panel data analysis for all the respondents' feedback on this question.
Hmm.
So this is like the whole process, how we get the data and then how we analyze this data.
Sure. And what would be the process for validating or having the information challenged to be sure that you're confident in your discovery and your net result?
So that way, we need to very make sure the link checking process. So
Hmm.
for example, once we have the questionnaire, we will get this back to the client. They will review it and give their feedback. Maybe they want to add more questions, or maybe they want to ask this question in a different way. So we will do several revisions of the initial version of the questionnaire. Once we have this settled down, we go to the programming team to let them program the survey, and they will give us the link check. So for the link check, it requires us to test how well this link works, like how well it implements all the questions we asked in the survey. And if it goes well, we, as a respondent perspective, how they feel when they go through this thing to complete the whole survey. And if this goes well, we just go for the field work to do the for launch. And during the for launch, we will check the data timely. If there are suspicious respondents, for example, some respondents, they may just give 8 minutes or several seconds to complete the whole survey. That's totally,
Right.
it's unreasonable. So you will get rid of this respondent and replace this with a new respondent who gave a more reasonable answer. So timely link check is very important in the whole process to get qualified like data.
So when I think about the questions that are being asked, you must be very much involved in developing and refining these questions, because the kind of question and the way you ask them uh, can very much discern or determine how the answers could be positioned, right?
Yeah, exactly. So in order to better control the quality, we must need to make sure the questionnaire asking the right question in order to get the right data from that questionnaire. So first, when we have the original version of the questionnaire, we will give that back to our client and they will put their feedback on what kind of questions they want to add, revise, or delete. So once we have those feedbacks in, we will do several revisions based on the original version and then have the final version ready to program. And in the programming process, we will test the link several times to make sure the link works well from a respondent's perspective. When they do the survey, how do they feel, like how much time they need to spend on this, and are the questions reasonable? Is it understandable for them to answer? So those are all the questions we need to think about when developing this questionnaire. And when we have the data, we also do the timely data checking. For example, we need to check whether the respondents give reasonable answers to all the questions. Some respondents, they may just want to, complete this survey as soon as possible without even looking at the question or even give their real thinking, like thoughts on these answers. They may just random
Right.
typing some for the open ends or give the string lining for all the important, the points allocation questions. So these are the suspicious respondents we do not want to include in the data. So we will get back to our programming team to tell them, hey, we want to replace these suspicious respondents. They will replace this with more qualified respondents data. So in this way, we can make sure our data is good quality and well shaped.
Yeah, it's interesting approach. And you bring up time. I was thinking about this earlier as well. It seems as though time is another big element in any kind of a quant study like this. And what I mean by that is if you ask, for example, the same questions to the same doctors at two different points in time, 6 months apart, you could potentially get very different answers, right? Different results.
Yes, yes. So this is like another thing. So some of the study they need to do multi-waves in order to know like the time how time change people's thinking and thoughts. So
Right.
this is the approach to do multi-wave like ATU tracking studies.
Hmm.
And then another approach is you need to ask precise questions, and this requires a lot of revisions on the questionnaire and your experience for developing a quality questionnaire.
Right, right. All right, very interesting. Well, this is a great perspective from the quantitative side of doing market research. That it's almost like behind the scenes
Yes,
work, because everyone thinks of a market research effort as well. You put together a bunch of questions, you collect the data, but it's really a lot of work after you have those questions put together and to be able to then synthesize the information in a form that can be well understood and that decisions can be made on.
exactly.
Yeah, interesting. Well, Zekun, thank you very much for the time today and your insights on this.
Thank you, Rob. Yeah, thanks
Yep.
everyone.
And if anybody is interested in learning more, please reach out to KMK and set up a meeting or come look at us on our website. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you.